Well, my name is Linda Muhammad. Assalamu alaikum. I'm here in the Virgin Islands, and we're at Jack and Isaac Bay on the furthest point of St. Croix on the east end. And I've been living here for approximately 28 years, and I want you to come here too, and visit St. Croix to see if you'd like to live here as well. St. Croix is absolutely beautiful place to live, and a lot of land for you to be productive on. So come and visit the islands, man. Come and visit the islands.
How long have you been in the nation?
I've been in the nation since I came in the nation in December 1980. So
Okay.
I was 19 years old. I've been in here a long time, 40 years almost, 40 years.
And where did you come in the nation? In what city or state?
Mosque number 15 in Atlanta. I came in the nation.
Okay.
Brother Hubert was the minister at this time. I believe his name is Brother Sabir. Brother Van Muhammad was the secretary at the time and signed off on my letter when I got my ex. And a sister named Dolores was the MGT captain. Brother Gary, I believe his name, her husband, was the captain.
And so, what inspired you to come to these islands over here?
Well, didn't know too much of anything about the Caribbean before I got here. My husband is from here, from St. Croix, and he had to come back home like 19 days after we got married, and I was married, so I had to come here too.
Oh my goodness. So did you have any trials or tribulations adjusting to these wrong turn streets and everything in these islands?
Well, St. Croix, maybe if you go to some islands, like if you want to be in a busy metropolitan area like Montego Bay or Jamaica and this kind of thing, this is not the island for you to come to, because St. Croix is a whole lot laid back. Things shut down early. But when it gets dark, for the most part, in terms of shopping, and no 24-hour markets here, unless you want to make it that way. But for the most part, everything is a lot slower here. So that was a big change for me. Being on a slower island, I felt like I was in Macon, Georgia again. So, which is probably a whole lot more busier than when I left it as a teenager. But over the years, St. Croix is so beautiful that it has grown on me, and there's a lot of community here, the people that you get to know, a lot of opportunities here. If you're interested in farming, if you're interested in some kind of manufacturing or production, St. Croix needs everything, and there's a lot of land here, a lot of space here for you to work out your dreams.
So why would we invest though? What would make a person want to invest in St. Croix? For what reason?
I believe the biggest reason to invest in St. Croix is that it's an opportunity to do whatever you like to do. So whatever you like, whatever you have in your mind to do, St. Croix is the place to do it in. It's U.S. territory, and as a U.S. territory, you're familiar with some of the things that happen in the U.S. The same things are happening here. So if you want to get into production, if you want to get into manufacturing, then St. Croix is the place to be, and you'll be familiar with the expectations in terms of doing business in the Virgin Islands. Well, come and visit and stay for a month. 3 weeks to a month, 5 weeks or so. Come and visit and see if you like it. And see if you like it, and see if you can live here. See if you can make a way for yourself here. I think that's the first step. But I'm sure if you're adventurous, this could be the place for you.
Now I'm thinking about, I don't want mighty Favor used to assist Minister Farrakhan and Nation of Islam on the separation program. And this would be ideal for something like that, wouldn't it?
Yes, it would. There's enough land here that we could build community. And as you drive around St. Croix, you've seen that other people are doing just that. They come and two families will come and buy houses next door to each other in the same community, or they will set up a community where a certain level of people move into that community, kind of price certain people out of it from moving in that area. So it's a lot of communal living of that sort, people who have the same or similar interests living together. And there's land, whether it be in the rainforest, whether it be on the east end, whether it be by the shore, or inside the city, inside the middle of the island or the center of the island. There's land for sale that believers could come and live in close proximity to one another. So this is a place where you would come and make things happen. So if you're not apt to be independent and produce anything of your own, then this may not be the place for you. This is for go-getters. This place is for the go-getter, and you're gonna have to, etch out your own place. And whether that be you are a writer, or doing movies, or opening up a dance school, or farming, or manufacturing clothes, whatever, this is the place for those type of people. Someone who wants to develop something. So it's new territory for sure. New territory. It's like the pioneers moving to the West Coast kind of thing. So you just load up your wagon and go, making the transition.
Praise the Lord.
Hi, my name is Majid Yusuf. I'm manager, owner of Seaside Market and Deli.
Okay.
And I like to say that Seaside Market and Deli is a good place for your produce selection, your wine selection, as well as if you want a good drink in our coffee department for our smoothies, our frappuccinos, our coffees. It's amazing. As well as we have a good deli selection and deadly sandwiches that we can prepare on demand and over the phone. But our grocery department is really good when you're looking for vegan, organic, or any alternatives that you might desire, as well as just gourmet foods, as our cheese selection provides, as well as our one of our best wine selections on the island. They can come here and whatever wines, as well as recommendations that you can get to us, you can give, and we'll be able to accommodate. And our friendly staff is here to always serve you.
Welcome to Seaside Deli.
Thank you.
As well as our meat department that's here for any of your needs for fresh meats, gourmet meats, prepared meats, anything, as well as fresh seafood that on ice. But Seaside Market and Deli, East End, really good place to shop. I say so myself.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
We went to visit a pioneer, bad company.
He's been on the radio station ever since I've been here, and I didn't know that he was a Muslim or, had any brush with Islam.
Right.
And then people started telling me about him, and so one day I got a chance to meet him and ask him some questions, and he was instrumental in, introducing a lot of people that I know today on St. Croix to Islam. But yeah, he's been here many years, and many people know him by his radio personality name, Bad Company.
Okay.
Hugh Lester Russell.
Hugh Lester Russell. Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam.
Yes. My name is Linda Muhammad, and I'm here to interview you for the Pioneer Initiative. And I just have a few questions. If we go through the question, I'm sure I'll have more as you begin to tell your story.
Okay.
So, what brought you into the nation? What were the circumstances surrounding you coming into the Nation of Islam?
I used to be in love with Muhammad Ali. He was boxing, and then I had the opportunity to go to meet my wife my girlfriend then in Seattle, Washington.
Okay.
And so I decided to, I went and looked for where they have a temple or mass at the time. And so I went to the mass and I really liked the teaching. The minister there at the time, the first time I went was a guy from Seattle called Minister Gregory.
Yes.
And I really liked his teaching, and I decided I wanted to be a Muslim.
So you got registered in the nation in Seattle?
Yes, in Tacoma, Washington. That's where I was living.
Okay. All right. What is your earliest memory of becoming a believer and a follower of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad?
My earliest what?
Remembrance. Your memories. The memories you had about the Honorable Elijah Muhammad.
Well, like I said, I should listen to Muhammad Ali a lot. Anything he do, I read about it and listen to things that he says. And he normally talks about the Muslim and Elijah Muhammad. And so I want to know I want to hear for myself.
How did Muhammad Ali influence you? You know, what was he actually saying that really drew you in? Outside of him being a heavyweight champion?
Right. Well, you were talking about, he says, I remember he was saying that when he went to the Muslim mosque or temple, that is the first experience that he really have about God. We normally got the Christian teaching, and he says when he went there and they have the teaching about God, he really make him believe, and I follow the same way. Yeah.
I think we need to backtrack for a minute and let your name is Brother Hugh Lester.
Yes, ma'am.
Russell.
Yes, ma'am.
And so, Brother Hugh Lester, what were some of your happiest moments being a member of the Nation of Islam?
Oh, well, I have many. Just being in there, I was happy. I remember my minister in Tacoma was a gentleman by the name of Minister Herschel, who passed quite a while now. And every now and then, Minister Farrakhan will come to, not Tacoma, Seattle. And we will have to go over to Seattle, which is about 40 miles from Tacoma. And go and meet Minister Farrakhan and so on. I went to the wherever they're gonna have the service or meeting over there. And I get to meet all the brothers, and it was nice.
Yes, sir. What are your favorite aspects of the teaching, including the books or subjects or lectures?
I don't know if I have any favorite. I just like the teachings. Being a black man, and at the time the hot book was out, was the Message to the Black Man in America. I remember one time I questioned why America, instead of black man, because I'm from the Caribbean.
Yes.
But it did. When I do find out, it didn't really mean only black man in America. It just mean because black in America was, according to the minister at the time, it was they were worse than anywhere else.
Yes, yes.
And so the teaching has to go to them first.
Yes.
Yeah.
Did you ever meet the Messenger of Allah?
Yes, I did. Well, I never meet him. Like, I've been to the temple where he was teaching. That's why I was saying that I had, in 1972, I drove to Chicago, and he used to preach every Sunday, and I went and see him. So I see him in person.
That was the Theology of Time, right?
Huh?
That was during the Theology of Time lecture series that he was doing?
I could have been. I'm not quite sure.
Okay. If you could have spoken to him directly, what would you have said to him?
I don't know if I would have the nerves. To be honest with you, he was just so dynamite to me, and I was just so taken up with the things that he was saying. And maybe one of the things that I would have asked him was about Master Farad Muhammad, which he, he talks about a lot, and I think I'd have some question about Master Farad Muhammad and how he meet him and all that kind of stuff.
What personal or national accomplishments in your nation are you most proud of?
In the Nation of Islam?
Yes.
At the time we was just FOI.
Being in the FOI?
Yes.
Yeah. How did your experience in the Nation of Islam mold you as a person that you are today?
Oh, tremendously. I didn't think I was anybody until I joined the Nation of Islam. To be honest with you, I learned so much about myself and others. So it helped me quite a lot.
Do you have any specific events that you remember participating in the nation?
Any?
Specific events that you remember participating
In the nation?
Yes.
Not really, except go to Chicago and have the privilege of seeing Elijah Muhammad. I remember when I went back to Tacoma, and some of the guys were asking, well, what did he look like? And you know, I remember telling them, I said, when I see him, it's like it's a halo around his head, and you know, he was just looking so pure.
Yes.
And yes, that's I can remember that. So, but I never taken up in any other event. I just joined the nation and just being a FOI at the time.
You said that you improved so much. You never thought you were anybody before you came into the Nation of Islam.
Right.
What are the most important lessons that you've learned?
Because I never read books, and so I'm never interested in read anything, including the Bible. I just listen. But after you become a joint Nation of Islam, they encourage you to go to the library, get books, read, study.
Right. And
so that's where I came down here to the Virgin Islands. I have a brother-in-law by the name of Wilbur Seal, and he came down the same time with me, and we started to get the Muhammad speech here, and we started going the street and selling.
So what made you come back to the VI, to the Virgin Islands?
Well, I kind of never leave. I originally from Antigua, and then I came live here. But my wife, they were living in Seattle after leaving here, after the sugar cane, because we used to come every year and reap the sugar cane. And then the sugar cane harvest finished, and then they went with their family, my wife, we didn't marry then, but to Seattle, to Tacoma.
Yes.
And so one year they came, I think it was 1971, they came back, which is the first time I've seen them since, because they left since 60 something. And they asked me if I would like to come to, and I told them yeah. And so they went back, set up, well, I guess they went to the immigration and get a fiancé visa. And so I could come and they send the visa, and I left and went to the States and so on, get married.
Okay. And then when you came back to live in St. Croix and you started selling the papers, how did that all come about? And what happened from that?
Yeah, after I joined the nation, like I tell you, I was coming home, but I decided I wanted to see Elijah, so I drove to Chicago, me and my wife, and we see Elijah, and then I had a car that I wanted to ship And so I drove to New York. When I reached in New York, they told me I couldn't ship it from New York. I got to go to New Jersey. So I sent my wife on the plane and I went take the car to New Jersey and ship it home. And so after I get home, which is here, then I start to correspond with them to send me the newspaper and thing. And me and my brother like get on the streets and we're selling the paper. That time nobody hardly any knowing. People looking at us kind of funny, you know. We sign up on the side of the street selling papers with bow tie and stuff on. Yeah.
So how did it go? I mean, and how did it progress?
Not very well. You know, it was kind of new and maybe we just couldn't stay in it long enough. We weren't making any money by doing it. We just wanted to get the paper. We buy the paper and we were selling them, half of them when we done, we end up had to just get rid of them because hardly anybody was buying any paper there. Ain't nothing about no Muslim or anything down here.
But eventually it caught on, and when the minister stood back up in 1977, eventually.
Right. I went back up to the States then, and then when I came back, it caught up. I met a guy here who was a minister, him and his wife, and they was teaching and so on, and then.
Was that Brother Robert?
Before Brother Roberts.
Brother Amin? Was it Amin?
I think he was from New York.
Oh.
I don't remember his name, to be honest with you, but I know he was from New York.
Was his wife named Celeste? They lived in LaGrange? No.
At the time, they were living in Harvey.
Oh, okay.
No, I don't know where they live now. I don't know if they're still even here.
Yes. Was Brother Salim's wife named Robert?
Celestine.
What? No, was his name Robert before?
I don't know. I think I did hear it was Robert.
Okay. Well, okay. So, did they call him Night Train? He used to drive a taxi?
No, but I remember the night train too now.
Yeah,
This guy.
Okay.
He's a kind of light-skinned, tall guy. He married to,
Oh, yeah.
he married to a short black lady. And then when I get, the lady was the head of the FOI.
MGT. The MGT.
FOI. So I went and I said, but that cannot happen. It cannot be over the FOI. And they didn't do like what I was saying and so on. And we kind of fell out. So I just leave it.
Oh, yes, sir. Ooh, that's interesting. Okay, so, but you did have some influence over some of the brothers and sisters coming in the nation. I know you talked about Brother Renhard.
Right, Brother Renal, and I think another brother. He wasn't a follower of Elijah Muhammad, but he was Orthodox Muslim. Brother, I think he was Brother Robert. But he kind of used to he just come to meeting and so on with us, but he was never really a follower of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. He with the other Muslim, the regular Muslim from
The Middle East?
Yeah, the Middle East, yeah.
So you started meeting.
Pardon me?
You all started meeting together.
Yes, because well, I never meet with them, though. He does come and meet with us.
Yeah, I mean, yes.
Yeah, right.
When you say us, who is us?
Well, the other, it was like two sets of Muslims.
Yes.
One was the Arab Muslims and the one was the follower of Elijah Muhammad.
I know, I understand. Who were those people who you were meeting with the followers of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad?
Oh,
Do you remember any names?
I can't remember all the names. I think the Brother Roberts were there, Brother Reynolds were there, the same, we used to go by the same minister house. And there's a little incident, I don't know, it was at that time the head of the Muslim was a gentleman in St. Thomas.
Oh, okay.
He used to preach every day in St. Thomas. He passed away now too. And the same minister, I think we had some sort of meeting that we were supposed to meet to the sister's house, and and he went and was malicious with your trying to mess trouble the sisters, and I didn't like it, and that's what I never went back up to now. We talked to, well, we decided we don't want him to be no minister, because if he gonna behave like that. And so we talked with the minister in St. Thomas, because St. Thomas was the headquarters, kind of. And this gentleman in St. Thomas said, well, we could not do anything about it. The order has to come from either Elijah or Minister Farrakhan. And so I kind of leaves that.
Okay. Well, so what was your favorite things to do for fun as a believer and a family in the nation when you were under the leadership of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad?
Who was my favorite?
Things to do.
Favorite things to do? I don't know, because really we don't have anybody here to do anything with but just a couple of us.
But even in Seattle, in
well, my favorite thing to do was go to the temple Wednesday. It was Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday. Yeah, my favorite thing was go to the temple and listen and observe what what I can. Yeah, I mean, I used to love to go to the temple.
What world events had the most impact on you after you became a member of the Nation of Islam?
The most impact on me? Of the teaching of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad.
And you said that, you remember when the Honorable Elijah Muhammad left? When they had the funeral for the Honorable Elijah Muhammad?
Yes.
How did that impact you?
Well, it impacted me a lot because first things, when I came back from the States and I was working here, and I was telling my workers, and so, I was introducing Islam to them, and I was telling them that he can't dead. And so they were making a mockery after me at the end that I thought you say he can't dead. That's the teaching I used to get. But I had that as that, well, when you go to the grave, you're dead. And I guess it's not really meaning that, but that's the way I was really giving it to them.
Yes.
And so it affected me quite a bit.
Yes, sir. Do you have any what do we call it? Advice for Muslims today, and what we could get out of your whole experience and being a nation that can help us today?
My advice would be to make sure that you join and get other follow people, your friends, and so they join up with the nation. It's a worthy cause, and if you can't, then get whatever video you can get. I had bring a lot of video with teachings from the Honorable Elijah Muhammad and Minister Farrakhan, and I still have them in my house. Every now and then I look for one that I haven't listened for a long time and just go play.
How would you like to be remembered?
I would. How would I like to be remembered? I don't know. I just want to remember I'm just an ordinary guy that, do something well for everybody.
Yes, sir. Did you have any questions?
Oh, yes, indeed. Yeah. Now, before you came into the nation, what religion was you before you heard of the Nation of Islam?
Everybody was Christian. I was born into Methodist.
Oh, you was a Methodist?
Yes.
What about your parents? What were they?
They're all the same. Nobody, where I'm from in Antigua, ain't nobody used to know nothing about no Muslim.
No, I mean, were they Catholic? You said they were Methodist? Or
Methodist.
They was all Methodist. Okay.
There's one church in the village where I'm from.
Okay.
It was the Methodist church.
It was a Methodist church. Okay,
Right.
so now when you came to the nation, do you remember your first lieutenant or minister at all? I think you mentioned a minister.
Minister Gregory.
Mr. Gregory.
Right.
And you remember the first lieutenant?
Yes, brother by the name of Brother Michael.
Okay, Brother Michael. Okay.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
And what did you think about when you heard Malcolm X preaching?
Well, I learned about Malcolm X just through Muhammad Ali too.
Oh, okay.
Right. So I buy his books, and
Okay.
just like it says, when you become a Muslim, you interested in books and reading
Okay.
and
all right.
history.
Okay.
So you can't keep yourself out of the library even if you want to. 'Cause,
Oh, yeah.
every time you go to the temple or the mosque, you will hear something that you need to go check out.
Right.
Right. Yeah.
And also now, what did you think when you heard Minister Farrakhan say that Elijah Muhammad is still physically alive? What do you think? Did you hear Minister Farrakhan saying that before?
I never hear say physically. He say he's still alive, but
Yeah.
I don't know about physically.
Yes,
And it would be, if he said that, it would be on my understanding. You would have to break it down a little more for me. Yeah.
Oh, okay, I understand. Okay, so
Yeah.
now, but also when the nation fell, you remember Warfield Muhammad? He was put in charge, right? The son of
Wallace.
Huh?
Wallace Muhammad.
Yeah, Wallace Muhammad. Yeah.
Right.
Now, what do you think about the changes? Do you remember the changes that he put in place?
Right. Well, I couldn't deal with it. I was out then and
Okay.
probably never went back again.
Okay.
Just like I think Minister Farrakhan himself was out too.
Right.
I mean,
I remember talking about how he stayed for a little while,
Right.
and then when he found out he was getting disrespectful, he had to leave out.
Right.
Okay, so and I think those are the main questions. Oh, I'm sorry. So when you started accepting Islam, what did your parents think about that?
Well, my parents never really with me. They're still in Antigua, you know.
Oh, okay. So they weren't really around when you accepted Islam at the time.
No,
Oh.
my wife became a Muslim as well. So
Okay,
my parents.
So was she a Methodist too, or what was before that?
No. My
So-
wife.
She was just out there.
They were just really ordinary Christians.
Okay.
I don't know what really. I couldn't tell you what denomination she was.
But she joined the Nation of Islam.
After I was we started to go in Washington, in Seattle, Tacoma.
Okay.
She started to come and we both become.
Okay. All right. So did she started the dietary laws too? And then what about the pork? Was it difficult to get off pork and alcohol? And
Yes, we give up. I give up all of that long time.
and which was the hardest to give up? Alcohol or pork or
I never
cigarettes?
I never alcohol person.
So you weren't really alcohol anyway that much. Okay, so what about the wife? Was she in alcohol or cigarettes or pork?
No.
Oh, that's
good.
That's good. Okay, so
Pork pork was a little hard, I would say. I'm never such a meat person.
Oh,
but,
okay.
I give it up easy. I mean,
okay.
when you talk to other people, they always say, "I've been eating pork all my life. It never do me nothing yet," and blah blah blah. But
right.
no,
Did you ever fast 3 or 4 days? After you fasted for three or 4 days,
how do I?
how did you feel?
I feel fine. I fasting becomes kind of normal to me. I could, believe you me, I could stay 2 days, 3 days easy without eating anything, just drink something.
So that became a good positive habit.
Right.
Okay, praise the Lord.
So
Okay.
you have another meeting to go to, and I really do appreciate you giving us time to interview and, you know, have this on file for the future. You know, everybody's, you know, they have a memory of you and what you've done with Islam and all. So I really do appreciate it.
And now, what would you say to Minister Farrakhan if you could?
What would I say to him if I could?
He walked in and said, "How you doing, brother?"
I love you.
And
Because remember, Minister Farrakhan, I just do a radio program.
yes, indeed.
My radio program is playing calypsos.
Okay.
And Minister Farrakhan was, at the time, was one of the best calypsonians around.
Right. Okay.
We have two songs that I have right there on my computer that famously play. One called Back to Back, Belly to Belly. The name of the song, I think, is Jumbi Jamboree.
Oh, okay.
And the other one, the other side to it was Is She Is or Is She Ain't?
Oh, yeah. Do you remember when he put out Black Man's Heaven is White Man's Hell?
Right, yeah. That it's not calypso, but I
It's
remember
definitely
it.
Calypso. Okay. All right. Well, that's all I wanted to ask.
But his I remember Mr. Farrakhan says his mother is from St. Kitts.
Right, he's St. Kitts,
Which
yeah.
he came here, and when I say he came to the Caribbean, where the St. Kitts and thing, and then he said he was born in the Bahamas or something like that. Yeah.
Right. Praise be to Allah. Okay, so. Well,
Right. Thank you, and I appreciate you guys coming by and checking me out. Feeling lonely sometimes. Yes, that's Bad Company VI at hotmail.com.
Okay. All right. So we'll send you a copy of it.
Okay.
I'm originally from Georgia, but I've been living here in the U.S. Virgin Islands on the island of St. Croix since 1994. And I'd like you to come here and visit.
now, why should black people come to St. Croix?
It is a wonderful island. It's, as you see, we're here at Carambola, one of the older resorts here on the island.
Okay.
And it's absolutely beautiful. So if you want to be at a resort, this is the place to be. There are others like the Buccaneer, which I love also. And all of them, of course, are on the beautiful Caribbean Sea, as you see behind me.
Okay.
So if you like ecotourism,
Okay.
St. Croix is the island for you. We're really laid back on St. Croix, but it's a wonderful place. If you like kayaking, swimming, jet skiing, horseback riding, what else? Zip lining, hiking, these kind of things, St. Croix is the right place for you. And you should come here and visit me. It's a lot of that to do, right along with just sitting with the fishermen and talking.
So there's other black people here too, huh?
Oh yes, it's about, I would say about 90% of the island is black. There are other people here from all over the Caribbean,
Okay.
Europe, Asia. So there are quite a few people here.
Okay, so
And different languages also, some French or patois, Spanish, of course. You know, you get a little bit of everything.
okay, so now, what message would you give to Minister Farrakhan as far as gratitude or anything at all?
Oh God, I am so grateful for the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad and having met the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan to become the Muslim that I am today. And it's taught me how to survive in this environment and just survive in general. I mean, I won't even say survive. I mean, I want to say thrive.
Okay.
Because it's gone way past that, and just really enjoy life through the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. So I really do love the minister and appreciate him and thank God for him and everything that we've experienced.
So now, how has them teachings benefited you and your husband?
Oh, wow. We came back. This is home for my husband, and we came here in 1994, late
Okay.
1994, and lost everything after leaving the States and all, had to regroup. And now my husband owns his own business where he's drilling wells, has a water station, and it's really as a result of the teachings that we have made the progress that we have made. So that's in for anyone who want to make investments. There's big things to do here in the Virgin Islands, and investing in our company too is one of those things you could do. So look us up.
Praise be to Lord.
Just come to the islands.
Yeah.
Come to the islands.
This is a place where the cats have refuge over here. And I fed water.